Hi there guys, thank you for tuning in to Fanfare for the Conscious. This is Sustainable City Slicker Rick Paris, and in the episode today we're going to be looking at the seeds that I've been planting, the bricks that I've been collecting, and the foraging that I've been doing. So this week I've been quite busy. I started off the week with building up the soil down in the vegetable patch, where I have also planted some of the carrots. I've got the early season variety, the Nantes carrots I think it was, that I planted down there. We've also got the leeks now in the soil, just sown the seeds straight into the soil. Thought I'd give it a go and see what happens there, because we've still got plenty spare left over in the packets. So what I'm also going to do is try and get a few of them going in some small pots first, just in case the ones in the soil don't take too well, and in very least I can use it to fill in any gaps where there's not any carrots or leeks coming up. I've grown them together because from what I understand, carrots and leeks grow quite well in a mixed bed. Also might even put some onions in there if I've got a little bit of space, but we'll see what happens there. I also decided to get the pumpkins going as well. We've got them in some pots, did 3 seeds, which I've put in with my topsoil and coffee ground compost, and they've been in a few days now, just waiting for them to start to show. And what else did I do? Got a surprise delivery, one of my friends. Thank you very much, Lauren, who's helped me out a little bit this week. Mum's been digging up the garden in her backyard, and they found a great big stash of bricks. Apparently more to come as well, as they obviously they just moved into a new house, so they're getting their teeth into the garden, so to speak, and I think there's going to be a lot of spare bricks that have just been buried down there, which I'm going to be able to have. So that was fantastic. Went down there, got 5 buckets full of bricks, which we've got piled up now next to the pond where the greenhouse is going to go. Hopefully next week we'll be able to start to lay those bricks out and trim away some of the pond liner and start to make it look a little bit better. I'm going to go for quite a wild look there. We've got a few plants that are sort of growing up out of the base soil around the pond itself, which I think are actually starting to look quite nice if we can keep them under control and make sure they don't go too crazy. I like the idea of having some wild plant growth around the pond itself. I think that's going to encourage insect populations, which is going to mean we're going to have a nice diverse diet for the fish that are going in there eventually. We also had some very, very good weather this week. 3 or 4 days of absolutely glorious sunshine, which brought with it a bloom of dandelions. So I've been out around some of the fields in the local area, finding some nice little corners tucked away from where the usual dog walking tracks are. I managed to collect a whole bunch of dandelions, which I've then trimmed the flowers out of the dandelion heads. So yeah, it's just the flower tops themselves, none of the stalk or anything like that, none of the leaves. Trimmed the heads off into some bags, and then we've used those dandelions to start to create a must, which is going to be the base for, hopefully, it's going to be a dandelion wine. Also, while I was out on the forage, I was absolutely amazed because, mere minutes, 2 minutes walk away from my house, and just to turn off a main road, there's this massive patch full of nettles and burdock and dandelion, and I couldn't help but look at this and think, wow, there's so much potential food just growing right there. For those who don't know, all parts of the dandelion are edible. The leaves can be quite bitter, but they're very, very rich in vitamin K and vitamin D, from what I understand. There's lots and lots of health benefits, so please do some research into the health benefits of dandelion. You can use it for salad, you can use the flowers to make wine, you can use the roots to make a root beer. Something else I'm going to have a go of, go and get some burdock root and some dandelion root and have a go at making some burdock and dandelion beer. Also been trying to spy a few bramble bushes that we've got. There was a very large bramble bush that I found on my little expedition foraging kind of reconnaissance mission, I suppose you could call it. Amazing what you can actually find when you have a look around. I mean, burdock grows everywhere. A little bit of research and obviously making sure you're picking the correct plant. Don't get dock root. You really don't want dock root. That's very poisonous. But burdock is very easily recognisable for its large heart-shaped leaves. But yeah, very interested to have a play with that later on. And then the last thing that I managed to get done this week, after we'd got that must preparing, which is going to need another couple of days yet, but next week we'll have a look at starting the brewing of dandelion wine. The last thing that I've done this week was get the beans planted. We've got those in a bunch of pots at the minute, small pots with some compost, waiting for them to do their thing. Once we've got those established, I'm going to pick the 3 best from each variety. There's 5 in at the minute from each, but I'm going to pick the 3 best ones. We'll get them planted in the garden and start to grow them near one of the fences and get some poles in possibly, or maybe even just use a large pot and grow those beans in a pot. Plans for the next episode: we should be starting to get the pond built up a little bit to see whether or not I'm probably going to have to drain some of the water, I believe, in order that I can actually wade around in it, because it's very deep and I don't have waders. I only have Wellington boots, so I'm going to have to empty a decent portion of that out so I can get in there and start to trim some of the pond liner away and dress it up a little bit with some more bricks. Yeah, and we'll hopefully start to see a little bit of activity from some of the plants. The potatoes maybe should start to show through next week, possibly the carrots as well, and maybe the pumpkins, but I think they've got a little bit longer wait time for them to germinate. That just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching once again, guys. If you did like this video, please click the thumbs button before, and if you want to follow on this journey with me, click subscribe. You can look down in the description below for any links, where you will find links to the lawfulbank.com forums, where I will be available for open discussion. You'll also find links to the GB Transition Network on Facebook, where you can find me loitering from time to time. And if you want to ask any questions, if you've got any criticisms, or you would like to make any suggestions, please pop that down in the comments below. I'm coming up to 100 subscribers, so thank you to everybody who's subscribed to this channel. That really makes me feel good and lets me know that I'm doing the right thing and making the content that you guys are going to enjoy, that's also in line with my own personal way of viewing the world and my own way of living my life. So yeah, if you guys have got any ideas for what you'd like me to do for 100 subscribers special, please also stick that down in the comments below. I may have gone well beyond 100 subscribers by the time that this comes out, but I will still look to do something to celebrate that. And once again, thank you to you all for following along with me. Remember, we didn't come here to play uneasy.